All right, let's start right off the top with the latest coronavirus update. Things are getting better. I know everybody out there has been panicked over the case increase. Oh my God, I saw everybody tweeting over the past couple of weeks, we're going to have a huge series of New Yorks out there. Every state, Florida is going to be like New York, California is going to be like New York, Texas is going to be like New York, Arizona is going to be like New York, and you know what happened? None of them remotely came close to New York. Do you know why? Because they don't have an idiot governor. Unlike Andrew Cuomo, they didn't make disastrous decisions, and Florida now appears to have already been through the worst of its outbreak, and absolutely nothing similar to what happened in New York occurred. Florida and Texas are going to have combined 1/10 of the death rate compared to what happened in New York and in New Jersey. New York and New Jersey, their leaders, did a worse job than anybody in the world. New York and New Jersey have a higher coronavirus death rate than anybody in the entire world. It was an unmitigated disaster. And let me just give you some data. Texas had the lowest number of new daily infections since June 21st yesterday. Over a month, Texas, new lows. Florida, meanwhile, deaths in the past 3 days in Florida, 278. Deaths on the same day last week, those 3 days, 305. It appears that the overall new hospitalizations has peaked in Arizona, has peaked in Texas, and has peaked in Florida. Now, I want to focus in particular on Florida and Texas here. They now have the same number of confirmed cases. And what has ended up happening? 1/10 of the death rate. This should be the number one story in America because what it confirms is this ain't that dangerous. The CDC said 6 to 24 times as many people have actually gotten this as have been confirmed. Florida says there is a 1% death rate in their state right now. If they have gotten 1 in 10 of all the cases, that would mean there is a 99.9% all-age survival rate from this virus. I got to tell you right off the top, facts matter. Use them. The fact that many people continue to embrace fear porn is evidence of how poorly their brains work. I always say only 3 things matter. The facts, the facts, the facts. All right? And somebody said, why are you making people choose sides? Because the choice is, do you want to live life or do you want to stay in your bed covered up by a blanket, never going outside again? Life requires balancing risks, all right? In order to balance risks, you have to understand what risk factors apply. If you are a young athlete right now, you are more likely to be struck by lightning than die of the coronavirus. If you are under the age of 50, you are more likely to die driving to and from work than you are from the coronavirus. If you are under the age of 50, you are more likely to be murdered than you are to die of the coronavirus. All of these are facts. They're all important. It's actually worthwhile to consider facts when it comes to making decisions in your life. What frustrates me to no end is that we have made a series of social policy decisions as if the coronavirus is the only thing that exists in the country, as if there are no other factors at play. 40 million unemployed is a serious deal. In my home city of Nashville, twice as many people are overdosing as have ever died before in the city since the shutdown has taken place. Kids are being pulled out of school, which is contrary to what the CDC said, and also contrary to what 67,000 pediatricians said, okay? So when you actually break down all of the data, there is absolutely no argument at all for us to be shut down. There's no argument that a shutdown should ever have happened. And if you have noticed, over time, we have seen a shift in all the arguments. Initially, it was we need to flatten the curve. Flatten the curve was supposed to last for 2 weeks. Now we have moved on to where Corona Bros are now legitimately arguing we can't go back to work and we can't go back to school until there is a vaccine. Why? There are 99.9% of people recovering. This is not a difficult situation to actually break down. The facts, they all matter. This is not a disease that should shut down the country or should shut down anywhere in the world, okay? All of this is a total and complete mess, all right? And look, this is also interesting, I think. I was out in Nashville last night, Saturday night. Went out to dinner and then went out to a bar. Bars in Nashville are now required, bars and restaurants, to close at 10 o'clock. What is the remote logic for making people leave a restaurant by 10 o'clock? Is the virus like a vampire? Is there some unknown validity of the virus's rise in terms of its danger after 10 p.m.? After midnight, does it spread worse? This is a great question that needs to actually be examined. There has to be some logic to the decisions that we are making, and there frankly aren't any. So what goes on? The virus wakes up at 10? Does it sleep late? Is it vampire-like? I don't understand at all the decision that is being made here.